Hi, my name is Josh, and welcome to my Hot Wheels display board follow-up video. It's been about a year or so since I've done my first one, and if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out here in the link in the corner when you have some time, and let me know what you think. But I've done a few boards since then, and I've learned a few things, ways to improve, to streamline, and I wanted to show you a couple of the newer projects that I've done as well. Now, one of the biggest differences in the boards I make now versus my first one. The first one was very big. It was 6 foot by 4 foot, and it's cool for sure, but it was kind of big, and so the boards I make now are about 4 foot by 3 foot. They're a little more manageable, but the big difference is that instead of screwing through the face of the board to attach the reinforcements, I don't do that anymore because it seemed like no matter how much I puttied and sanded and primered, there was always these weird little circles and dimples where the screw heads were, and you can only see them in certain light, but I'm kind of anal and it drove me nuts. So now what I do is I either use liquid nails or I use leftover epoxy in the jugs. I drain and mix it up, and I use that to glue the reinforcements to the back of the board, and especially the epoxy. Once that stuff is done, those reinforcements are like part of that board. They are not coming off. So I found that it works out really, really well. The only downside is it adds some time to the overall project because that epoxy needs at least 12 to 24 hours to fully set and cure before you can, grab it and put any kind of weight on that. But it works pretty good. And at that stage of the project, it's kind of in the middle of it anyway. You need time for the paint to cure and dry and different things. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait, but it's worth it in the end, I think. But anyway, I wanted to show you a couple of newer boards, some new themes and stuff that I've been working on, and I hope you enjoy. the golf board all done. And as you can see, I kind of loaded it up with some good stuff. Some of my favorites. It's mostly all my supers. That's what these boards are for, is to kind of show off your good stuff, right? But you can also see I did something different. I did channel instead of pegboards this time. That's because it's kind of a cleaner look. You don't get to fit so many cars on it, but it is a cleaner look. And what started it is we were going to do the playroom for my son, and I was going to build a display in there, and we started thinking about kids bouncing off the walls and all these pegs sticking out of the walls. It's kind of like Iron Maiden. So we decided to kind of model it instead off of Luke's room, which you can see we just bought this simple channel molding from Lowe's, and it's just held on by these little command strips. And these aren't even the expensive ones. These are the ones that hold up the posters, and you just put them about every foot, and it holds these cars up real nice. This is his treasure hunt wall. So the top row is 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, and so on. Very bottom, I think, is 18, and we have all of those. And then we had to start on another wall, so that's 19. We got all those, and we're off to a good start for 2020. So there's good and bad to both the pegboard and these channels. Something I want to point out too is that if you're going to do these channels are actually, they're fairly cheap. They're like $3 for 8 feet, and they come in these little sizes, and they also come in the big ones, like on Luke's wall. What I also discovered is that you can totally paint these. So if I went crazy, I could mask this off just like I did the board, and I could actually paint this to match with the stripes and the different colors, and the channels would almost disappear on the board. Now, obviously I didn't do that on this one because I just wanted to demo it. The other good thing about the channels is you can totally reposition these things. So if you want to switch up and do different cars, or you have different protectors, you can just pull these moldings off, and it's not going to hurt the board at all. And you can reposition and organize any way you want, so you can kind of change it up. And they're real easy. They just slide in and out. The bad thing is that you can only fit so many cars on the board this way. Now, I can fit a whole nother row, but it would be right up underneath the elements on the top here, which would still be cool because the point is, again, to display your cars. It'd just be awfully full, but you'd still have the cool stuff on top here. Now, what I did this time, as you saw in the video, was I just got some pinstriping from O'Reilly's, and I put that on, and that actually looks, I really like the way that pinstriping looks. But anyway, here's the golf board all done and kind of loaded up. Now, the good thing about the pegboards that I like is that it'll hold way more cars, and it kind of gives it kind of like a retail feel, because you can, you walk in, that's how the retail stores are. They got the pegs. And you can always just switch cars around to whatever's facing in front, so you can constantly change which cars you're looking at by just simply moving the cards and shuffling them around. It just looks like a new display every time, just like at the store. But you do have the extra pegs, and you can bump into them, kind of poke yourself, especially kids. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents for this go around. And I'll end the video with some pictures of some of the other boards that I've done. I've done some of these boards for local collectors, and they're all in homes or little stores, and holding cards and stuff. And I've gotten a lot of requests for selling them around the country, and I'd like to do that. The only problem is, because of the size of this thing, this is about a little over 4 feet tall. Well, it's around 4 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. And that is considered an oversized package. So to ship this to, say, North Carolina costs, it's like over it's over $320. It's almost the same cost as the board itself. It's actually more than the board that I would charge for the board. So I can't really, it just doesn't make sense. I can do stuff like this for guys that are in the Northwest around Boise that can drive for a few hours and pick it up. But as far as shipping it goes, it's just, yeah, it bums me out every time I get a request for a board because it's just not cost effective. And if I were to shrink it down enough to make it cheaper to ship, then it would hold 12 cars, and that's pretty much it. It kind of defeats the purpose or limits. I don't know. I'm still playing around with it and having a good time. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is kind of fun too at the same time. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Out.